you were in Las Vegas over the last couple of days, you would have known. I think it was from the 9th to the 14th or something like that. They had a pretty major cyber attack that pretty much shut down a lot of their systems and such. And this is MGM Resorts are, I think, the biggest resorts in Las Vegas. I think they've got like 19 resorts or something like that. So kind of a big deal. And I love when these hackers do this. This doesn't really hurt the company as much as it hurts just people, just the patrons, right? So kind of sucks, but it's the same as the like the protesters that are like blocking traffic to me. There should be something that sort of says, hey, like hackers get in and you just pay them. And there's like a set sort of price, and you're like, they know they get in, and you're like, okay, here's 100 grand, get out, and then leave us alone. And then they do whatever they have to do to change some stuff. But sadly, that's not the case. But I'm going to read this article by Forbes, and yeah, you know what I think about Forbes. Not too strong on them, but in a article like this, I'm sure they're not going to be too bad. Inside the ransomware attack that shut down MGM Resorts. More than 60 hours after a brazen cyber attack targeted the computer systems at one of the world's largest casino hotel chains, patrons trying to access the MGM Resorts websites are still met by a splash page that apologizes for the inconvenience. Prominent among MGM's stable of 19, yeah, that's right, 19 U.S. properties are a dozen of the most iconic hotels or casino hotels in Las Vegas, including the Bellagio, Mandalay Bay, and the Cosmopolitan. Since the attack was discovered on Sunday evening, it has wreaked havoc on MGM's operations, forcing guests to wait hours to check in and crippling electronic payments, digital key cards, slot machines, ATMs, and paid parking systems. Oh, that sucks. People weren't going to lose a bunch of money to slot machines. On Tuesday night, VX Underground, a malware research group with nearly 229,000 followers on X, posted that ransomware as a service group, Alphi, also known as Black Hat, claimed responsibility for executing the attack by using social engineering to identify on LinkedIn an MGM employee who worked in IT support. The next step was simply to call the MGM help desk. Astonishingly, the attack took about 10 minutes to execute. This is sad. This is sad when these big companies and these big systems are that easily hacked. I don't understand how. I don't understand. Like, they must know they're going to get hacked. So it's like almost like where they sort of leave the door open and they're like, okay, well, then we know that someone's in there, and then we can just, just bang, just close the systems and then change passwords, do whatever they have to do, clean out their caches and all that kind of stuff. But, obviously, if it's shutting them down for even hours is unacceptable. If you're in Vegas and you're trying to check into a hotel and you're delayed by hours, or you can't do various different things, that's pretty inconvenient. That's going to really sully your experience in Vegas. I've only been to Vegas once, and it was I didn't have any problems, but I can imagine it would have been a nightmare. So MGM is a huge company, but small and medium-sized companies get hit with ransomware countless times per week, and it doesn't usually make the news, says Alex Hammerstone, Advisory Solutions Director at Trusted Sec, an Ohio-based cybersecurity firm. One clue that this was a ransomware attack was the high visibility of the disruption. Okay, so if it was ransomware, I mean, are they actually paying some ransom on this? Are they holding? So, are they holding information? Are they holding like customer information, sensitive information of some of their patrons? That's pretty bad if that's the case. Again, I don't understand why these aren't closed systems where all that information isn't shared. So the worst that could happen is they kind of shut down your systems a little, and like you'd think that would be on like a protected server where it wasn't, it had no access to the internet. But I don't know. Like, I don't know how they run these systems. So Alfie is an extremely well-known black hat actor in the cybersecurity industry, thought to be responsible for attacks against Reddit and Western Digital, among others. In April 2022, CISA, America's Cyber Defense Agency, issued an alert based on an FBI flash report on Alfie, noting the criminal group had compromised at least 60 entities worldwide. So these guys are going nuts. Yeah, that's crazy to me. What are you going to do about it? That's the real thing. It just seems like these things happen all the time. No matter what you do, they just can't squash these guys. These guys are they seem to be ahead of these systems. The hackers are ahead of them. So I don't know. It's clear that the MGM is called the cybersecurity issue uh, will be extremely costly. In the quarter that ended on June 30, the company reported that its Las Vegas Strip properties generated revenue of 1.2 billion just from hotel rooms and casinos. Based on those figures, MGM's Vegas Strip properties bring in more than $13 million per day in revenue. Yeah, so if they're down a couple of days, I'm sure that's going to hit them pretty hard that way. Again, I don't, I understand it's like negotiating with terrorists, but if you just say, hey, look, listen, if you were able to get into our systems through whatever means, okay, here's $1 million, get out, or whatever, right? It's going to save you money in the long run and probably, a lot of pain. But I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So that's pretty alarming that MGM, one of the biggest chains, can get hit like that. Scary for anybody who's staying there, and now you have to worry if maybe you were personally, compromised in some way. I'll tell you, if I were staying there, I'd probably just, change my credit cards or change some of my login information on different things. I don't know, just as a sort of preemptive